Good afternoon, everyone. Throughout my adult life, I would have best described myself as being a heavy beer drinking, all you can eat, loudest in the room, funny, last to leave the party, run through a brick wall rugby player. Also a confident and I think successful police officer. So naturally everyone must have thought that everything was hunky-dory in Wayne's World. But depression has no face. Depression has no face. I tried to hide 2 decades of struggles, heartaches, sacrifices, and endless sleepless nights. But it's impossible for someone to carry on like that forever. And I was about to find out that that someone was me. I thought I'd built a brick wall of emotions, attitudes, behaviours, and a personality to protect myself from everything. But I know now that all I'd been doing was hiding behind my wall, but more importantly, the truth. Then on the 28th of August 2018, my wall was finally breached and my world changed forever. I then knew that if I didn't get some professional help, things weren't going to end well. I like to stress that I'm not a psychologist, a counsellor, or medically trained in any way. But what I am is someone with a mental health condition who has had to retire from the job he loved with a mental health condition, who does not accept the stigma associated with mental health and has absolutely no problem talking to anyone who is willing to listen. Thank you. But despite not being a psychologist, I'm also not a fireman. That doesn't mean I can't tell you your house is on fire. It's not family, friends, or colleagues that you talk to the most. You might know. It's yourself. So I stood in front of the mirror and told myself some painful home truths. If I continued lying to myself, things would never change. I needed to deal with my darkness, my anxiety, my demons, my feelings of shame, hopelessness, embarrassment, my suicidal thoughts, and the belief of being a failure as a husband, a father, and even as a person. I didn't know how I was going to carry on. And this reminds me what's happened, what I've had to do, or what I will need to continue to do to be able to stand here today. When I refer to my darkness, what do I mean? For me, it's that place where I'm totally alone in the world and perfectly visually represented as the black void for the character 11 in the series Stranger Things. And if you know, you know. One of the most important things I needed to do was to stop pretending to be someone that I wasn't. I had to embrace who I was, but more importantly, I needed to be who I needed to be. I also faced that unnamed barking monster that was hiding in the darkness in the corner, which in the words adopted by Winston Churchill was my black dog, who has now become my companion on this journey of mine. But it's only over the last few years that I've realised and come to terms with the fact that my mental health journey didn't start on that fateful day in August 2018. It actually started 20 years earlier. My journey began on the 16th of February 2000. And Angelman syndrome is what kick-started my journey on that day in February 2000. It's the day we were told that our firstborn, Sean, had been diagnosed with it. AS is a rare and complex neurogenetic disorder which causes severe physical and learning disabilities. Individuals with the AS require continuous care for the whole of their life. So in the blink of an eye, the dreams I had of what my family would be like changed forever. From having a million plans, I had to come to terms with my son wouldn't be reaching his milestones like other kids, wouldn't go to mainstream school, wouldn't be able to read or write, probably wouldn't walk, talk, he wouldn't be getting married, he wouldn't have children or a profession, get drunk, drive a car, have a sexual relationship, and play rugby for Gibraltar. Everything I took for granted. I hate AS. I hate it. But I love my son with all my heart. But my grief has never ended. When he started St. Martin's and then St. Bernadette's, his teenage years, puberty, adulthood, have all compounded my grief. Holidays, birthdays, gatherings, family gatherings, or even going to restaurants all make me revisit my darkness. I've lived in a state of perpetual exhaustion for 2 decades now, trying to work with an endless list of health professionals, educators, therapists, endless forms, the bureaucracies of caring for a disabled child. tried to learn as much as possible about AS while still trying to preserve some sort of normality for the rest of my family. Physical and mental burnout was inevitable as a result of prolonged stress, feeling overwhelmed, drained, unable to cope. All this at the same time as being a carer and trying to deliver the specialised and constant treatment my eldest son required. I've had 2 jobs for 20 years, a carer and a police officer. But I can tell you that everything that I've done as a carer is a lot more harder than as a police officer, and I did a bit as a police officer. What have I done? I admitted I had a problem and got help. I stop, I reflect, and I prioritise, and I do it as many times as I have to. Am I doing too much? I just keep telling myself that in the mirror. It's the only way I can continue. I know it's not been. I know mental health isn't a sign of weakness. It's not. And I will continue to openly tell people that I have a mental health condition. I've got nothing at all to be ashamed of. I take my antidepressants daily. I walk as much as possible. I tend to my plants. I close my eyes and constantly do my breathing exercises. I read. I socialise with family and friends as much as my anxiety will allow me. I do whatever I have to do to find my own peace. I don't drink any alcohol or caffeine since that day in August 2018, which those of you who know me means a lot. At work, I wanted to make it easier to talk with people about my own mental health journey, breaking the ice, making others feel more comfortable, and hopefully reducing the stigma. So I always use the words Wibble, Wibble, hence the title of my talk, The Chronicles of Wibble. It was those that know, it's from Blackadder. Blackadder goes forth from World War I. I think it worked, and I think I made a difference within the force. I hope I did. I'm not making a joke out of mental health. Why would I do that? I'm just trying to get people to open up and talk about it. Asking someone if they're okay doesn't require you to have a degree in anything medical. Don't need specialised training. Doesn't cost anything. It takes about 2 seconds to say. But those simple words, that they are a ray of hope for someone, and may only be the words that someone needs to take that step. So please listen to them. So please, when you leave here today, take a moment to ask someone you know if they are okay. But because you want to. Not because it's top of the trending list on social media, or it's fashionable, or to tick some box. It's because you want to. Be kind and show empathy to those that ask you that need help. It's essential that everyone understands that depression has no face. Don't stereotype. It isn't a Google's top 10 things what to look for or how to cure it. Mental health is very individual, so never judge a book by its cover, please. Whenever I'm asked, are you better? How do I answer that? I don't know how to answer that. I can patch up the cracks, I can smile, but that doesn't mean the problem's gone away. It's not the flu, COVID. This is who I am now, as a consequence of hiding behind my wall. And if you are struggling, please, please take a minute to look in the mirror tomorrow morning and tell yourself, well done. I'm proud of you. You're trying your best. Then please speak with someone. Don't hide behind your wall. It might sound strange, but I am content on my mental health journey. I like the person I've become. I'm a better version of myself, even though I continue to go through my darkness, to see what is really important in my life. But by doing so and making some life-changing decisions, I've changed forever. And now I'm able to give Sean, my family, and myself all my strength. There is no difference between a physical and mental health. Without one, the other will not function. I know I have a permanent physical injury and accept that I will never run properly again. I also know and accept that I'll be on this mental health journey of mine for the rest of my life, with my black dogs beside me. But never forgetting Team Sean's motto, that there is only one direction on this journey of mine, and that is forward, always forward. Thank you to everyone on Team Sean, as you are so many. Jane, Sean, Sammy, Katie, what can I say to you that I haven't already? Without your support and love, I know 100% I wouldn't be standing here today. Thank you for your time.